Welcome to That's Good for Footy.
Forget about the heartbreaks, the agony and heartaches. You give it all for the game's sake, and that's good for footy. Forget about the heartbreaks, the agony and heartaches. You give it all for the game's sake, and that's good for footy. And this is what you pray for, every night and every day for. You give it all, then you give more. That's good for footy. Footy.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome. How are you all? Great to see you. Welcome along to the Springvale RSL. Welcome along to That's Good for Footy. We're going to get stuck in, sitting on court to 8. We're running a little bit over time. We've got a bit of time to make up. We've got a lot to get through, and we want to do it as quickly as we can, but we want you to all enjoy yourselves while you're here. So, welcome to That's Good for Footy, the only family-friendly, live and interactive footy panel show. This is where the fans meet the players and the players meet the fans. The shows are for the passionate supporters. You already know that. These shows allow you to see the players be themselves. Let's get stuck in. I'm ready to go. Collingwood show, February the 15th. Please welcome to the show. Here's our first panellist. He was born on the 8th of May, 1996. He's played a total of 74 games and he's kicked a total of 6 goals. He made his AFL debut in 2016. And when he plays for the Collingwood Football Club, he wears a premiership medal around his neck and number 37 on his back. Could you please welcome to the stage, Oleg Barkov.
Good old Collingwood forever. They know how to play the game. Side by side they stick together to uphold the Magpies' name. See the barricades are shouting as all barricades shout. Premiership's a cakewalk for the good old Collingwood.
Well done. Thank you, everyone. Beautiful. You probably just saw me gesturing to the fact, and I went, "Oh, have a look at the Mustaka, it's back." And I went, "How do you?" He was just saying, "Oh, I don't know. I don't really like it. What's the vote out there?"
I appreciate it. You got to convince the lovely, so she's the boss. So yeah, razz her up, let her know it looks good. But I'm getting a bit carried away here.
I like it anyway, mate. Let's get our second panellist out here because there's not a lot of room in that back room, and he needs to get out. I can tell he'd be like a caged animal right now. Please welcome to the show. He's our second panellist. He was born on the 14th of March in 1991. He's played a total of 113 games and he's kicked a total of 117 goals. He made his AFL debut back in 2016. When he plays for the Collingwood Football Club, he also wears a premiership medal around his neck. Could you please welcome to the stage the number 46 for the Collingwood Football Club? Say it, Mason Cox!
Good old Collingwood forever. They know how to play the game. Side by side they stick together to uphold the Magpies' name.
There you go. Stand up if you want, everyone. Give it to them. Let them know you love them.
As all barricades show. Premiership's a cakewalk for the good old
Collingwood. There you go. All right. Yeah, USA. All right. We're going to all here tonight. This is the Springvale RSL, and I don't know whether they'll allow us back, but we're going to make sure we have a bloody good time tonight. First of all, boys, I just wanted to say welcome to the show. It's great to see you both again. I know the last time that we spoke was going into the Christmas period and over the New Year. Mason, you were heading off to Beyond the Valley. I remember that was one of the things you were saying. How'd that go?
Yeah, my first festival in Australia.
Yeah.
I didn't stay long. It was, it was a different experience probably than what I expected. I think I was the only sober person there, but it was a great time. We got to do, I've got a podcast. We got to do a live podcast, first time ever. I thought like 10 people would show up. Like the whole tent was full, and I kind of like shit myself because I wasn't really ready for that. But it was awesome. It was so great to see how many people supported us, and it was a great time. So there's been a lot that's happened since we last talked.
Absolutely, there has, and we'll go through a fair bit of that tonight. I saw you dressed up as an Aussie cricketer at one point. Did you? What was going on
Things
there?
I didn't think I would do. Tick that one off the bucket list. I did play a bit of backyard cricket. Funny story, I almost got arrested while I played my first backyard cricket match.
Right.
I played with Cricket Australia. I hit one for 6. Right, if this is correct, wrong terminology, let me know. Hit one for 6. Apparently went into the corner hotel and landed in someone's Parma, and they were not too happy about it. So they called the cops on me, and the cops showed up. Just having flashbacks. Like, do we need to go? And almost got arrested, but then I knew the cops, and then they're like, "No, it's all good." So it was an interesting day. It was an interesting day.
Wow. Did you both venture off to the tennis as well, being that, Aussie summer?
Leggy?
Yeah,
You were
I
going
went.
once?
I went with Emirates, proud sponsor.
Yes.
Oh, wait.
You're wearing the jumper
I'm
tonight.
wearing the wrong polo. Well, Emirates looked after us, Becky and I. So it was pretty cool. I've sort of lost touch with tennis a fair bit. I remember the days of Andy Roddick and Marat Safin and things like that. Everyone's changed. I don't know where Azarenka was, but I'm happy that a fellow Belarusian lady has done us proud. So, I mean, some of us, mainly me and my family.
Nice, I understand where you're going. I wanted to chat with you boys about sport over the Aussie summer. I also wanted to touch on the Super Bowl with you, seeing as we have an honorary American in our presence. But my first question is, how much sport do you watch over the Aussie summer period? Do you get involved in much sport watching?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest one for me is the tennis. I think out of the 15 days, I was there 8 of them.
Wow.
So I did a bit of media for the tennis, which is really cool. Got to meet Taylor Fritz, Coco Gauff, some of the biggest Americans playing at the moment. So I got to interview some of them, which is like a pretty cool experience. Massive athletes and the best of the craft. So I've got to do that. But the cricket, I did go to Boxing Day. I don't know if you all remember Boxing Day. It rained the whole day. So my first cricket experience was pretty trash. It wasn't too fun. I sat in the MCC kind of in a suit and tie and real hoity-toity. As I sat there and watched Bay 13, I think it is. Bay 13 was going nuts on the corner. I was like, that's where I want to be.
No, you
stuck
don't.
here. But it was awesome. It was a bit of a rain delay. Just essentially got 30 minutes of cricket over 7 hours.
Yes, yeah.
So
yeah.
safe to say, still yet to grow on me.
There you go. It's a bit of a slow burn. It leads me on to professional athletes and sportsmen, is what I wanted to speak to you about, sportsmen and sportswomen, and how much of an impact that they have on you directly. I wanted to start with the tennis, because that's obviously where we're at right now. The Australian Open, we talk about 5 sets, Sinner down in the first 2 sets, only to come back and win the next 3 sets. How inspired do you feel after watching something like that? When you're watching 2 professional athletes, one-on-one, go for it, playing a 5-setter, first 2 sets he's down and comes back to win the next 3.
I think the coolest thing about tennis, right, probably the hardest thing if anyone's played tennis at a high level is the mental capacity you have to to be able to fight through whenever it's not going your way, and you have to find some kind of circuit breaker to be able to turn the match in your momentum to be able to be in your favor. And I think that's one of the things I find most impressive, and I kind of watch tennis and I see that side of it. You see people breaking rackets and cussing out umpires and all this kind of stuff, but that mental fortitude to be able to turn that around and use it in your advantage to be able to kind of, change the momentum of the game is so incredible, and it's so interesting to see it live. And I don't think you quite understand unless you've seen a proper professional tennis match how hard they hit the damn ball. It is phenomenal. If I was sitting there going up against any of the people that were in the Australian Open, there's 0 chance I'd be able to return just 1 serve out of 100. It's just not possible.
No.
But it's a pretty amazing feat to see live, and it's such an international event. It's one of the biggest international events, if not the, over 2 weeks that Melbourne hosts.
Yep.
So it's a massive opportunity for the city to show, what it's capable of, what it offers, and it's a massive, showcase for tourism too.
I bring it up because I think there's a lot of analogies in here that I can use in relation to the Collingwood Football Club. The amount of wins that you had last year, 2023, we're talking about 15 wins where you were under 10 points, right? We're talking about adversity. We're talking about the crowd against you. We're talking about the situation of having to come out. Maybe you're down going into the third quarter and you've got to come out and you've got to have a big fourth quarter. That's the reason I actually want to talk about these particular sports and that game in particular. What's your take on it when you see that kind of game going on? And do you draw inspiration from that and just go, what an amazing athlete, I can adapt that into my style of or brand of football?
Yeah, well, I find it's probably more crucial when you got two tennis players because you've only got yourself. Yep. We're pretty lucky. We play with another 22 players. So when we're down and out, or when people think we're down and out, we're never down and out as Collingwood. We tend to see some incredible athletes. We get a front row seat, and everyone else here gets to view our athletes perform at their absolute best. And I don't know. Like I find joy out of seeing Nick, Josh, everyone just play to their strengths, get us over the line essentially. But look, I find that in tennis, it's kind of different because you're just by yourself. Yeah. But with us, we lean on each other, and I don't know. I feel like we're never down and out. And the best part of last year, I thought, was the Essendon game. We got so process driven. Before you knew it, that third quarter, we came in and we were pretty confident. And just to keep chipping away, and we finally broke that rock. And to win on Anzac Day was probably one of my biggest and best highlights of the year, bar the grand final, obviously. Yeah, cool. It's really it's perfect that you point that out, because I just want to talk about another team sport, obviously the Australian cricket team. I also wanted to allude to the women's cricket team, but Aussie men's, the T20 champions, World Cup champions, one-day international champions, they lost their first 2 games of the World Cup, who then went on to win their next 9, including the big one, the grand final, against India in India. Right, against a hostile crowd. This is where I draw the comparisons of saying that now you're playing with a team. They look like they were down and out. They were at the bottom of the ladder after the first 2 games. But then they come back. They come back with a vengeance. I bring this up because of their never say die attitude. Do you see similarities in their mindset and the belief of the players? And what can you share into this type of conditioning from your perspective?
Yeah, it's interesting. Did they lose to the West Indies, was it? I want to say that's cricket knowledge, guys. That is pretty good for me. I want to say it was the West Indies. But, yeah, I think, like, the experience, I'll talk about this all the time, right? Like, this sports journey, right, is one big experience. And it's all about those kind of big games and big moments that you remember the most. And if you're talking most of those people that played at India and won, that would be definitely a highlight of their career, because you have such a hostile crowd, and there's something about it. Like, I'm a bit of a prick whenever I play, don't get me wrong. There's something about proving people wrong that really kind of you enjoy, right? You enjoy after a while. And I think the Australian cricket team, whenever they went there, like, India, cricket's the sport, you know? Like, cricket is what everyone lives and breathes every day. Religion. So absolutely. It is an absolute religion over there. So to go over there and beat them at their own sport that they consider the top of the top, would have felt pretty damn good, especially since, like, we have 30-something million people here. They have like 1 billion. It is an underdog story, right? So I always say this about, like, Australian sport in general. I mean, you look at the Olympics and you look at, you know, medals per, you know, capita of people that live in a country. Like, Australia, I almost confidently say, not without looking at the digits, like, they're probably number 1. And it's quite impressive just how they are able to breed athletes out of this country to be some of the best in the world at what they do. And it's something that probably isn't talked about too often, but maybe every, like, 4 years when there was an Olympic cycle. Yeah, I think it's a valid point, hence the reason I wanted to bring it up. And I still think there's an alignment here. The last topic to discuss with you was, did you guys obviously check out the Super Bowl? We had an Aussie playing there in the San Francisco 49ers in Mitch Wishnowsky. Did you watch it? Did you have an interest in it? We'll just start with that as a first point. Yeah, look, I watched it. I tried to watch it. Our club, we had to train on the day. So, I mean, we were running in and out of gym, in and out of meetings, watching it on the big screens. I don't know who's in charge of planning our trainings, but we should have had the Monday off. But anyway, we're getting better. But yeah, again,
I'm kind of happy that I missed the first half because I heard it wasn't very eventful. Halftime show sucked apparently.
Yeah.
Usher was just sweaty. Like, what was he doing? And yeah, I was unaware that we had an Australian punter, but that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of the NFL. I participate in all the fantasy leagues. I did it just to get to know my teammates. I've got FOMO, so if there's a league and people are talking about it in the physio room and I'm not involved in it, I get really upset. So I put my hand up. I'm in everything I can. But yeah, I guess when the season finishes with fantasy, I sort of drop off a bit until the Super Bowl. So but I am, or as of, I don't know, maybe the last 6 months, I am a Swiftie. So that's been a good journey. Swiftie life, yep. Thank you.
There you go.
Where's the soundboard?
Right down the back there.
We meet again.
He's hiding
I'll be
tonight.
over there soon.
Right.
But no, I had a blast watching it. So it was pretty cool. I don't know. I think the last Australian punter, Sipos, he's in coaching now somewhere, I think. But anyway, I don't know.
I'm not sure if he's coaching. He isn't playing in the NFL anymore. So he played in the Super Bowl a few years ago, and then obviously we've got the Australian punter now. Unfortunately, Australian punters are 0-2 in the Super Bowl. So, but yeah, you always got to support the team that's got the Australian on it, obviously. And it was an incredible game. Like you were saying, you're kind of jumping in and out, and I'm not going to lie, I took off weights for the day and pushed that back in the schedule so I could finish the game and watch it, being an American holiday pretty much. But yeah, it was epic to see. Patrick Mahomes, huge game at the end to show leadership and trotted all the way down the field. It was pretty incredible. Taylor Swift was on camera for I think it was 97 seconds whole. I've got about 6 Taylor Swift bracelets ready for Saturday, everyone. So safe to say I'm a Swiftie also. And it was an incredible game. It is the pinnacle of entertainment, right? Like you have all the, it's like $7 million for like a 30-second ad in the Super Bowl. It's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous, kind of the amount of money that goes into it and the entertainment behind it. And it's a massive ordeal back in the States, and it's awesome for me to see how people here are starting to get on that bandwagon and starting to pay attention to it, and really enjoying it over here in Australia.
I hear you. What I wanted to do was just go back a step because I wanted to just focus on this part. I drew comparisons to the players coming up the race onto the ground, to how the Pies present to the fans as they come out onto the ground. Not necessarily the dancing and the singing, but the soaking into the atmosphere. Let's have some fun out there. When the San Francisco 49ers come out and they were standing on the boundary line, they were all into their groove and they're doing their dance and they're gyrating and they're going through that whole process. When you see Nick Dacos come out and he's there with Josh and you see the smile on Darcy Moore and you see Bruzzy like getting roughed up and pushing Jordan DeGoey around. What I'm speaking of here is that the comparison that I talk about is the relaxed nature of the individual that is now coming out and playing sport. You don't have to be as stiff. You don't have to be as bored. You can come out and enjoy your football. I asked you the last time you were on the show, is this the happiest you've been playing football? And your answer was, hell yes. So that's the comparison that I wanted to draw on from that. I wanted to get your thoughts on when you're watching that and you're seeing what you do in the AFL, what are your comparisons with that and how does it make you feel? You love the aspect of knowing that everyone's enjoying themselves?
Yeah, well, I guess one of my biggest values is to be a kid, to have fun, never lose sight of that, to be curious, to ask questions. And although I'm hopefully everything, fingers crossed, goes really well and I become a father, I'll never lose sight of the fact that I'm still somebody's son. So for me, fun is a big, big element in my life. And I find that, I think I said this last time, but there are 2 things that are universal in the world that we always understand. One is laughter and the other one is farts. Wherever you are in the country, you know when someone's laughing and when someone's farting. That's the 2 universal things. Thank you. I'm a big believer in that. So, and again, when you stop laughing at farts, I stop being your friend. It's as simple as that. So, and again, with laughing for me, it's like, although this is considered our job and stuff, as kids, we never saw it like that, and that's something I've always wanted to hone into was enjoy it, have fun, smile. We're all there for the same reasons. We're all going to try our hardest, but we don't have to be like your word,
regimented.
Stiff. Yeah.
I wanted to ask your opinion, Mason. Coming from America, you've been brought up on that. You've seen that level of ego, eagerness, whatever the term might be. But when you first came over and you started to adapt to watching how the teams would come out of the race and then come out into the field, obviously we spoke about this last time, we go through a paper mache banner, all right? Then we've got,
it's the weirdest thing.
Exactly.
I don't. Have we thought about this?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah,
we did brush on it. But I wanted to know how you adapted to what you've seen and witnessed, and then when you came to the AFL and what you saw and witnessed then.
One of the first things I did, I stopped being one of the first guys to roll through the paper mache because I realized it was too tall to go over. I'm about to clip my head on this tape. So I'm always the last one out now. I'm the last one out. I let everyone else go in front of me, and then I'll shake hands with Brody Marchek and we head out. But it is different. I think like throughout my career, I probably had a different mentality of it. Like in the early days, I'm sitting here as an American who's never played. No one's kind of giving me any kind of credit whatsoever. And I was probably in that mode of I need to be really serious because I need to prove myself and earn respect in that sense. And throughout the years now, I'm in my 10th year playing, and it's kind of crazy, I guess, just how far I've come. So I now kind of look at it and have a bit of a holistic view, I think, where every time I run on the ground, you kind of always think maybe this could be the last time I do this, so I want to make sure I enjoy every single moment of it. So anytime I run out on the ground or after the game, I'm always one of the last ones out just to kind of soak in the atmosphere of all the fans and everything and get those goosebumps, because I know once it's gone forever.
Yeah.
And you got to try to make the most of it. And saying that about Leggy's comment earlier about the fart and the laughter thing, unfortunately, I do have a locker next to him, so I do laugh a lot, if that makes sense.
And that's why you're friends.
That's why we're good mates.
I just wanted to lastly touch on, you mentioned it before, Patrick Mahomes and his team, they're down, but he knows he has to come out, and in order to get the win in overtime with less than 2 minutes left on the clock. I don't want to use this as a comparison, but Scott Pendlebury in the third and fourth quarter had to come out as a leader and show the resolution that he did and become that force that just said, get on my back, we're all going to go and do this together. You talk about Patrick Mahomes, he's come out, everyone's relying on him. Is he going to be able to win this game? He's texted his girlfriend, that's now come out in the media about 3 weeks ago, prior to the Super Bowl, saying, we're going to win this, So there's such a belief. You get individuals that can have those leadership qualities, and I use the analogy of talking about Pendles. You've got two different sports, but with the same outcome. Comparisons are aplenty. Individuals that just have to step up and take those big moments. Tell us about your thoughts on exactly what I'm mentioning there, but how you see Scott Pendlebury and what he does to the Collingwood Football Club, especially in big moments like the grand final.
The interesting thing about Pendles, and I think it's throughout our team, really, and I think back to 2018, right? 2018, we lose a heartbreaker grand final. And I think of just how much that really took a toll on a lot of people. And Pendles has been played in big games, played in grand finals before. And I think whenever we got to 2023, there's this weird feeling of okay, we've kind of been here, we've had the experience of this, and now we're going to kind of try to make the most of it, right? Not say 2018 we didn't, but I think we just had the experience to feel familiar in that scenario. And Pendles is one of those people, he's been there, done that, and throughout his career he's shown up on the big games. And when that kind of third and fourth quarter where he kind of played his ass off and was one of the best players on ground, I think that really just showed how he's able to stay calm under pressure, and that's something you can't really teach people. You just have to have the experience of being in those games, in those tight moments, to really understand how to emotionally stabilize yourself and understand just how to perform whenever the heat is on. And I think that's one of the things that Pendles, he probably doesn't get enough credit for. Don't get me wrong, Pendles gets plenty of credit, given the fact that he's one of the best players to ever play for the club. But that's one of those things that doesn't show up on a stat sheet. Really, that's one of those things I think that is beyond numerical values, and that's something that we just kind of value as a club. He is essentially another coach on the field for us whenever we run around that we can have giving us direct feedback whenever the game's live. So he's invaluable to where we're at, and that's why he keeps getting contracts at that age and is able to continue to perform at a high level. It's just because he's got such great experience, and he continues to put his body and his mind in the right place to be able to perform. Brilliant. Did you want to add to that, Ollie? No. Nailed it.
All right, we talk about leadership. It's just been announced. You've obviously got Darcy Morris captain. You've got vice captain Jeremy Howe, and stepping into the leadership group, Bruzzy, and just newly announced, 24 years of age, Isaac Quaynor. That's fabulous. Really good. Tell us in your thoughts, Oleg, about these four into the leadership group. What do they bring to the table? What do you admire most about them?
Oh, look, I was very lucky last year. If you can sense where they all play, they're all backmen. So I got a front row seat to them at their greatest and their best, and I find that they're all different leaders in their own way. I love Darcy. He's very intricate. He's very different. And he's got so many great relationships. He's very calm, level-headed. He understands how footy works and how people work, and he's an incredible leader in his own right. Bruzzy's a maniac, as we all know, yeah, and we love that. His actions speak louder than his words. So to have someone lead from the front the way he does is inspirational. Q stands up in big games. He's on top of everything. He's an emerging leader. If not, he's a leader of our football club. He's no longer emerging. He's one of our greatest leaders that we have, and we'll continue to blossom and support him as best as we can. And Howie, again, I mean, he's sort of like a bit of a Mr. Fixer. We can swing him forward, swing him to a wing, back. He's he's got really high standards. He drives the group. He's full of energy, and I beat him in golf today as well. So,
Oh, nice. Excellent.
That would hurt
Yeah,
Howie.
no.
Howie would be fuming about that. He loves his golf.
yeah, I got him covered today. and I haven't played for a few months either.
All right.
So.
And still in the swing too, I like it. The last thing I wanted to talk about in relation to just that topic, you got a couple of injuries down at the club at the moment. Di Schultz and Murphy. So Murphy, a little bit with concussion, just wants to be on the cautious side instead of coming back and playing these inter-clubs and anything around there. Schultz obviously got a bit of some stops in the back of his knee.
Yeah, he got
around
cleated,
there.
I think, the other day, so
Okay.
he's a bit sore from that. Yep.
And then Di with a finger. I think it was his ring finger.
Yeah, did a finger, and he's just come out of surgery, I think, today.
Yeah, okay,
So
all
I'll
right.
try to pop in and see him after this.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So, Oleg, you indulged in a bit of twilight polo, I saw most recently.
Yes.
We went down there and participated in that. Tell us what that was like. But before you do get to that, you've also got some exciting news. I think that this is your platform. You may want to share with everybody here, because at the polo, you're actually there with your beautiful partner, Becky. So, is there any news you'd like to share?
Yeah, well, yeah, it's been well documented. Although I've actually got a funny story. So I put up an Instagram post. Not sure if anyone's seen it, but we did like a bit of a parody of Knocked Up, and it was good fun. We thought, rather doing the hand on the belly and announce that we're expecting, we sort of did a movie. And Jacob Ryan, out of all people, Big JR, he comes up to me, he taps me on the shoulder about 2 days after I put up the post, and he goes, "Hey mate, are you in a movie?" And at the time I was like, "Oh, yeah, I am," and I just sort of brushed it off. And then he asked me again. He goes, "Oh, so where's it going to be shown?" And I was like, "Oh, he must be serious." And then Howie looked at me, because we sit next to each other. And Howie looked at me and he's like, "Is he?" And I was just like, "Howie, stop talking." I was like, "It's going to be on Netflix." And then he asked again. He goes, "Oh, well, what's it about? Is it about your journey and stuff?" So we've sort of had this running gag that I'm in a movie. I'm an actor. It's coming out late July. So we'll see how we go. But fingers crossed, all is well. And yeah, obviously expecting.
Yeah,
So
cool. And congratulations on that. Yeah, thank you. How exciting. I know when you were on the show last time, you went with that line where you said, "I am a kid at heart, and hopefully I can be a dad." I posted on my Instagram page exactly that, your little quote there. I thought it was fantastic. What was the news like when you first heard?
yeah, it's funny. Like I've never dreamt of a big wedding or anything like that. Like how a lot of people might dream that. Maybe not so much guys, but I've always wanted to be a father. And yeah, I guess the moment it sort of happened, you get this rush of all sorts of emotion. Becky started tearing up, and yeah, for her it was probably more stressful at the start. But for me, I just felt like, oh wow, like this is really exciting for me. And I mean, at the moment, I'm just trying to support her as best as I can. There's not an awful lot I can do right now, but the best thing I can do is make her life less stressful, help her out as much as I can, and I don't know, sing. I don't know. I think you meant to play Mozart in the background, but I've been playing a lot of techno at home, so yeah, we'll see how the little one turns out.
In true O-League style. Well done. All right, boys, let's talk about this. Your first hit out will be in 12 days on February the 27th against Richmond at Icon Park. As that draws closer, how pumped are you getting?
We do play next week. Me and Leggy looked at each other like, really? Hold on, don't we have a game next week? Like, no, we've got another one. So we've got, it's not televised, but we've got North Melbourne next Wednesday at Amy Park, so home ground, which will be good. So I think we'll play 6 quarters there, I want to say. And then the next week after that will be the Richmond, which is going to be televised and be our official game. So I think that one's at Icon Park, I want to say. Yeah. It's kind of weird that we're playing at Carlton's ground, but that's, it is what it is. No, it's exciting. Like it seems like it's come around pretty quickly, but I think everyone at the club's getting a little bit antsy to get into the season.
Yeah, I was going to
you get
say
to this time of year, and there's a lot of people asking for match play and less of the drills and stuff, which is good. And then having the intra club a few days ago or yesterday, was it yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday.
Goldfields Cup.
The Goldfields Cup. Yeah. Leggy was talking a lot of trash to me actually yesterday, so that was lovely as usual. He was on the opposing team. They smashed us. Oh gosh, it's not great. It's an exciting time of year though. It is. I mean, like everyone's undefeated. Like all the teams are excited. You know, you get new recruits and new people in and trades and all these kind of things. And this kind of North Melbourne and the Richmond game is the first time you'll see some of these people try to get a gig. So you talk about people like Lucky Schultz, who would be the first time playing with us, and see how he gels in the forward line, and seeing a few things, maybe different players in different positions that you kind of try out and things like that. So. It's an exciting time of year right now, and the next couple games we'll kind of try to organise everything to figure out who the first 23 is going to be.
And not to mention, you're also switching the magnets around with the coaches. You've got Jordan Ruffhead who's come in, and you've also
Scoot Selwood.
Yes,
Scotty
Scotty Selwood. Yeah, has come in. So that's a little bit of interesting. Let's move on though. You go to round 0 because I know this is the one you're really looking forward to. Pies versus GWS on the Giants turf, Saturday the 9th of March at 7:30 p.m. We won't go too much into that, but that's round 0.
Yep.
Then on round 1 kicks off on Friday the 15th of March. This is when things start to get real now. 7:40 p.m. new time slot. MCG versus Pies. Right, MCG versus Pies. Everything's MCG
Swans versus Pies.
Pies versus Swans at the MCG. First 14 rounds of 2024 will feature a Thursday night game. Pies have got 2 Thursdays as well as 5 Fridays in the first 14 games. This is a question for the fans, just with a show of hands if you could. I want to ask the fans about this one. We'll do it like this firstly. Thursday night games, and then we'll just ask, how do you feel about them? Show of hands, do you like it? Do you like Thursday night games? So the majority of you do not like Thursday night games. So we'll go, Thursday night games, don't like them. Show of hands? Wow. All right. Okay. Well, there you go. That's interesting. Just sort of wanted to bring the crowd into it and get their thoughts. Let me know, boys, who has been tearing it up in training? Who has impressed you the most with their work rate, effort and commitment?
The people that have impressed me happen to be the people I've been playing on. So obviously Bo's taken a big step forward. Joe Richards, Harvey Harrison, all the small forwards are looking above and beyond where they sort of were this time last year, and that's all I can compare sort of us to. And Bobby's obviously shining as per usual. So I'm super excited to see how they're going to go this year. That's a very, very competitive and healthy place for the club to be. I reckon you can slot any of those small forwards in and they'll be able to do the job.
Wow, good.
They're super hard to play on. I'm super excited for the games to start, to be honest, because I won't have to bloody play on them anymore. But they're super quick, super fast. They're enjoying their footy. Everyone's smiling. They're kicking goals, which hurts us backs, but that's okay. I'm super proud of all of our small forwards.
Brilliant. A couple of mentions.
Finn McRae played really well the other day. He's been smashing it. He's been flying under the radar for a while. I was going to say Bobby. There was a moment in the intra-club match, I think he took on like 7 people, I want to say, and just made them all look silly. Billy Frampton at one point was on the ground, I think, because he just I don't even know. Bobby's one of those just like shifty players that you can never actually tackle, which is a pain in the ass, especially the taller you get. But he's been killing it, Bobby. Isaac Quainer, I think, is another person who we probably take for granted. He's the best one-on-one person in the competition. He's a freak athlete, and he just keeps showing up every single year, getting better. So that's the reason we signed him to a 5-year deal, and he's part of the leadership group. So it's the proof's in the pudding what he's doing every single year, and it's definitely impressive. Perfectly.
You just stole my thunder on that one. I was about to suggest he's been obviously elevated into the leadership group, but he's also signed a 5-year contract. So good stuff.
Awesome.
Moving forward for him. That's great. You must be, just to surmise very quickly, just to wrap it all up, I spoke about round 1, March the 15th. That's going to be where the real footy starts. Tell us, what are you thinking about that? Can't wait for round 1 to come around. We speak about the unveiling or the unfurling of the flag, the premiership flag, against the Sydney Swans at the MCG. Give us
it'd be good. I'm excited. We played both the Sydney teams round 1 and 2, so... it's going to be. They're both, up at the top in the top 8. So it's going to be 2 very hard games to start the season. Very tough teams in opposition that have been playing really well for an extended period of time. The Sydney Swans one is going to be a fun one. You've got Taylor Adams, who's gone over there, and Brody Grundy's a good friend of mine. So unveiling the flag in them, I'm sure Brody's going to probably give me a gut punch the first thereabouts, but all in good fun. It's going to be exciting. I think the first time we've been to the MCG since the grand final, you'll kind of have those feelings again of just kind of what happened, how incredible it was, and just the fans and everything else that'll show up and be able to share that experience with them. We talk about always bringing the fans along, and that's one thing I think that we get the most enjoyment from is whenever we have massive crowds with big fans like yourself to be able to fill the MCG. And just now I'm getting goosebumps talking about it. It's pretty incredible, and an experience that not many people get in this world. And like I said, you got to make sure you enjoy it while it's around and not take it for granted.
Lovely, lovely, well said. Could you please put your hands together for the boys? Thank you very much.
Are you good at history?
I'll go first.
Oh, Oleg's in. All right.
Ready.
Oleg's going to go first, all right?
Chime in.
Whatever subject comes up, he's going to get those questions on it. Let's spin it and see how we go.
It's a good spin. Solid spin. we can't see that, so you're going to have to tell us exactly what's going on.
Coleman medalist, which is number what? 7.
Do you know?
Thank you very much.
Love that. We're
Number 7.
the driver's seat here.
All right.
So if you know Coleman's, I'm going to give you the mic.
All right. So what's going to happen here, Oleg?
You look nervous.
Right? I'm going to ask you who was the Coleman medal winner. I'm going to give you the year, and you've got to give me the player. The Coleman medal winner. Bear in mind, I'm going to be starting them from 2014 through to current day. All right. So we're not going too far back for you. All right, so from 2014 through until 2023. Here comes your first one. And remember, Reid, if you know the answer, help him out, all right? But you're going to be keeping score. Who won the Coleman medal in 2019?
19, I was at Richmond. I'm thinking it could be Tom Lynch.
No.
Jack Revolt.
No.
How many guesses do I get? 3?
No.
Dustin Martin.
No.
What?
It's goal kicking.
29.
Coleman.
Coleman medal
Norm
winners.
Smith. Sorry.
No.
Still trying to figure out what the
It's
names
going
are.
real well. Yeah.
Tom Hawkins.
No, very good. Well, at least you've got the club, but you've had too many guesses. Bad. It was Jeremy Cameron. Yeah, you don't get any points, all right?
Whew, glad we didn't get that one.
Took way too long. All right, here's your next one. In 2016, who won the Coleman medal?
Anthony Rocker.
I'd like to award you that, but no. It was Josh Kennedy. Bad luck. Here comes your next one.
Hey, we need Joel on our team. We want to come over here and help us out.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, she's cheating on her phone. Oh, how good. That's a smart
Always happens.
idea.
Who won the Coleman medal in 2014?
2014. Name me a good forward then.
I'll give you a hint. He retired last year.
He retired last year. Buddy Franklin.
Yes! All right. You get 1 point. You've got 1 point. Look at that. It's already up. Who won the Coleman medal in 2021?
2021 was Harry Mackay.
Yes. Very good. All right. Well done. That was a bloody good guess. Who won it in 2015? His name
Jordan
actually...
Roughhead.
No.
Jared.
No.
No, who's the other Roughhead?
Ruffy's
No.
a back.
Yeah,
He's
no.
not a forward.
No.
He's played ruckman at that
No,
time.
it was Josh Kennedy again from West
again.
Coast. All right. Who won it in 2017? Bear in mind you've said his name.
Tom Hawkins.
Who?
Tom Hawkins.
No.
Buddy
No.
Franklin.
Yeah, Buddy Franklin, but no points. Your first guess is your ultimate guess. Here goes. You ready for this?
Yep.
2018. Who won the Coleman medal in 2018?
Jack Revolt.
Whoa! All right, you got it. Well done. Who won it in 2022?
Charlie Curnow.
Charlie Curno's correct. Well done. All right, who won it in 2020?
Lance Whitnell.
Yeah, no.
Hawkins. Big Hawkins.
All right, Tom Hawkins it is. And your last one, who won it in 2023? That's last year.
Charlie Curnow.
Charlie Curnow is correct. Well done. All right, Sandy, can we get you back up here? Let's see what we're going to spin up. Luca and Mason, you're going to be playing for whatever category comes up here. Sandy, if you could spin the wheel, that'd be wonderful. Spin the wheel. Let's see what subject comes up.
I've got high hopes. Luca was good. You got like 5 of those right with a Coleman. Did I say a Coleman? Or are we going? Who we got? AFL history. For a guy
AFL
from America,
history.
this is going to be interesting.
AFL history.
This will be good.
Oh.
This will be fun, yeah.
Oh.
You just told me like one of these you were like 5 years old whenever one of the Coleman was won. That's 40.
Are you going to be able to help
All
him
right.
here, Luca, do you reckon?
We're going to nail this.
I reckon
Confidence
there's
is
no
key.
chance. This is a hard one, all right?
Yep.
These are just going to be guesses, mate, seriously.
I'll be-
Just see how you go. What
Yep.
year was Etihad Stadium opened?
Etihad Stadium.
What year was it opened? It was on March the 9th.
yeah.
What year?
I'll go 1992.
2000. Bad luck. What year was the last AFL game played at Waverley Park? Round 22. Hawks v Sydney. 72,000 people were there.
72,000 people at Waverley Park. Mm-hmm. That's phenomenal. That's more than Hawthorn gets nowadays, isn't it? On average, that's a statistical fact.
What year?
I don't know, 1987.
1999. From the audience. What year was the Great Southern Stand built, which is now known as the Shane Warne Stand, at the MCG? What year was that built?
2022.
2022, did you say? No.
It was
What year
named the
was
Shane Warne Stand in 2022.
It was named the Shane Warne Stand, but what year was the Great Southern Stand built, which is...
Oh, what's now? Well, let's see. Can we get a half credit here?
You go.
1972.
1992. You were very close. Yeah.
20 years.
Yeah, 20 years. 20 years. What year was the new members stand at the G opened? In March of that year.
Is anyone else with me here? I've got no idea.
Told you it was hard.
2006.
No, 2006. Yeah, no good. What year did the Adelaide Crows enter the competition?
91.
What do you mean? When did the Adelaide Crows join? When did they jump out of the sample?
Would you like it again, Luca? Because what year did the Adelaide Crows enter the competition?
1997.
1997. That was
87.
87. 91. Bad luck.
We're getting closer. I will say that.
Yeah. What
Positivity.
year did the West Coast Eagles enter the competition?
Let's go 1997.
1987. So close.
Nailing this, Luca.
Here comes your last couple.
Yeah.
What year did the VFL become the AFL?
1990 is the...
1990 is correct, yeah. That was that.
We did it! We all did it together! Oh, jeez, we really struggled through this whole thing.
was
How many points
fantastic.
you got? We got a chance of catching up. You have 11?
No, they didn't get 11.
That's
There was only,
questionable.
yeah, okay.
All right.
Last couple of questions. What year did South Melbourne become the Sydney Swans?
2. This is like anyone who's seen The Price is Right. It's like $1, Bob. $1. 83, 1983.
82.
82. Very well done.
It was a leap year. I know. It was a leap year, wasn't it?
Fitzroy became the Brisbane Lions in which year?
Jeez, we've got a Brisbane fan out the back. 1997?
96.
Are you serious, Legs?
96 it is.
Oh, come on.
1996. There you go.
You said it so confidently out the back. I was in. I was locked in, Eddie.
There you go. What year did Port Adelaide join the AFL?
No one cares. That's the answer. No one cares. No one cares. That's the answer.
No one
Give
cares.
us a ding. Give us a ding. Give us a ding.
He got it. 1997 for those playing along at home. There you go. That was really entertaining. Not really. Yes. No. Well
Mate, he wasn't even born. I didn't know what AFL was at the time of any of those questions.
I told you it was hard. Regardless, well done.
Oh, we nailed it.
You two were fabulous. Guess what? There's a football. You can sign it for him right now. And Mason, you can do the same. Look, you got a football as well. The boys are going to sign it for you. While they're doing that, you can put your hands together for the boys. Thank you. Well done. I just wanted to mention, thank you very much for all of you coming along tonight. Great turnout, great crowd, Springvale RSL. February the 15th, obviously Mason Cox, Oleg Markov, we really appreciate it. If you'd like to attend any of the shows, you can only get your tickets through the Facebook page, which will take you through the links on the website. If you'd like to come along to any of the shows, we hope to be back sometime around either March 6th, March 13th or March 20th. We'll let you know. If you follow the page, you will know. It's as simple as that. These shows, they're basically put together by three of us. Sam, my sound engineer, could you please put your hands together for him? And the beautiful Sandy, who you can see standing here chatting to the boys. She does the floor, the door, and so much more. We love her. We appreciate all her help. We thank you, Sam, for your contribution this evening. But the main contribution has come from all of you guys, all right? Thank you all for coming out and being part of That's Good Footy panel show tonight. It's been great to have you along. What I also wanted to do is just, if you could all be, at least cordial enough to thank Mason Cox and Oleg Markov. The boys have come along to be part of this show tonight, to see you all, to go through the situation they did, play some games, talk about everything that's going on in the football, do some photographs, do some autographs. They've done all of that, boys. I can't thank you enough. Please pick up your microphones. The last words I will leave to you. You can sign off. I will then come back and say everything I need to say.
No, just honestly, we talk about it all the time, is bringing the fans along as a club. It's incredible to have so much support and love in Melbourne and across the world, to be honest. We talk about painting the town black and red, but I think we've got a new saying at the club saying paint the world black and white, black and red. Interesting. There's not a black and red team, is there? Black and white, but seriously, y'all, we have the most amazing fans in the world. We're so appreciative of everything that you give us. And please show up for the year. It's going to be an incredible year in 2024, and hopefully we can do some special things.
Over to you, my friend. Last word.
Thank you for all the love. I appreciate it all. But we've got to end on a Collingwood.
There you go. Beautiful. Well, I'd like to say thank you very much for everyone coming along tonight. Get along to some of the shows throughout 2024 if you can. This has been the That's Good Footy panel show. My name's Damien. Thank you, everyone, and good night. Cheers, guys. Thank you.